I have a depriming station here in my garage, a little single stage press. I got a Franklin Arsenal collapsible bench. These both collapse down on both sides and it takes up a lot less room. And that way I've got a couple things mounted on it. Obviously I've got my RCBS press here. I've got my Franklin Arsenal powder measure. And I've got a Lee classic press, which is where I do a bunch of my single stage reloading on it. So what I'm going to do is take a minute, get this set up now that I've got my lock washer on it, pop it into my RCBS press, and once I've got it in there, I'll go ahead and show you how I set it up the rest of the way, all right? Okay, so you can see that I got it loaded in my press. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it down, and the best way to determine how far down you have to do it is to go ahead and put a shell. I happen to be setting this up to decap 9mm shells, so I'm going to go ahead and put that on my press. Get that right in there. It's number 16. And I'm going to bring that down. And obviously it's not touching at this point, so it hasn't decapped it. So I'm going to go ahead and roll this down until it encounters the primer, which it just did. If I turn a little bit more, actually just push the primer. I'm going to turn a little bit more, and then I'm going to go ahead and run a few more cases through. You can see we are now primerless. And we've got another case with a primer in it. And we're going to pop that out. Boy, is that an indented primer. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pop that in here. And pull down. And okay, definitely knocked the primer out of that one as well. So it looks like we're pretty good depth. I'm going to do a few more. And again, we've got a primer on that one. I'll pop that in there, pull it down. Okay, that time it did knock the primer out. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it a little bit more until I see the primer shoot out the bottom. Okay, there it goes. So I just increased my priming depth on that. You don't want to do it too far so that the primer pin gets broken or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that in here. Okay, it seems to be doing pretty good. I'll do 2 or 3 more, and if they do it right. Okay, that one's already deprimed. Okay, that one's got a primer in it. Okay, so it seems to be going pretty well. So what I'll do is I'll simply bring this lock washer down to the bottom. And I'll bring my Allen key to bear on it, and I will lock that in place. That way in the future, all I have to do is unscrew this here and drop this in. She'll stop exactly where I want it. Okay, so I've gone ahead and added a lock washer. As you can see, there's a little pin in the back. This is the RCBS lock washer. And I've got it set up exactly the way that I want. Got a nice primer in here. And we're going to try it now that it's all set up to make sure it deprimes properly. Okay, there went the primer. So I'm now set up using my Mighty die, or any depriming die for that matter. But the advantage is that I've got a really, really tough Mighty die here. So you may ask, why did I go out and buy this decapping die? What about the decapping die that came with your dies that you bought? And I almost always use RCBS dies when I'm reloading. I'm a big fan of them. I like their quick turnaround when there's a problem. I bust the decapping pin, they send me another one. Obviously I buy them in large quantity anyway, but if I bend the decapping rod, they'll replace it. You know, they're a really good company, and I've had really good luck with their dies, and that's what I was using, 30 years ago, and that's what I'm continuing to use today. All my reloading dies are now RCBS. I had a couple of Lees and some other ones, Hornadies, and there's nothing wrong with them, but I do like having matchbox sets of all my dies. Kind of looks cool. So back to this. I went ahead and put a lock washer on it so that I can simply drop it in my press already set up. I'm going to use that one specific press to do the decapping on. It'll help knock stuff out for a lot of the cartridges that I'm loading now. And why use this? Well, the biggest reason is this is the hardest decapping pin, the strongest decapping pin that's on the market. I invite you to go to their website for Mighty Die and check it out. Order yours from Mighty Die Armory, which is the name of the company, Mighty Die Armory. And check it out. And I think you'll probably agree with me that it's a worthwhile investment. Again, there's nothing wrong with my decapping dies that I have now on all my other die sets. The issue is that I have run into a bunch of cases that I've got where I've gone ahead and deprimed them, and the primer just doesn't want to come out and it snaps my decapping pin. So I wanted something with a lot more beef and it wasn't going to shatter. The RCBS ones are designed so they shatter as opposed to bend the shaft, and that's what happens most of the time. But after going through about 15 of them, decapping about 500 rounds of 9mm, I said, nah, I think I'm going to do something a little bit heavier duty. So far, this has done quite a good job. I was running it without the lock washer on it because I wanted to show you guys using it with the lock washer instead of the provided brass one that came with it. It's nice, there's nothing wrong with it, but again, I like to use the lock washers. That way it drops it exactly where I want it to, and doesn't go any deeper or any shallower than I'd expect it to. All right, with that said, guys, have a great weekend, and make sure you stop by the Reloading Network, thereloadersnetwork.com, and stop by, work with some of the greatest content creators for casting and shooting and bullet making in general. Great site, great people. They've got not only they have a great forum, but they also have a good chat room, and it's great because you can go one-on-one with any number of the people that are there, or you can chat in a group and ask all sorts of questions, and everybody helps each other. So it's a real good place and real friendly people. So I advise you to stop there. Hey, also hit that subscribe button on the bottom right-hand side. I got a lot of guys logging in, a lot of guys viewing, and I don't mind you looking at it, but do me a favor and subscribe. That tells me how many people are interested in the channel and allows me to continue to grow the channel as far as its popularity. Okay, have a good day. Have a great weekend. Bye.